whispered logic puzzles. Thank you for joining me. I'm Andrea, and I'm going to play through level 31 of Sandwich Sudoku by Cracking the Cryptic. This is a 6-star level. Okay, so I'm starting with 1 digit on the board. So let's use this 9 to find the 1s and the 9s. Okay, so first, in this row, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 21. That can be done with 3, 4, or 5 digits. In this case, it will have to be 3 digits. The 1 can be either here or here. Okay, in this column, there is a 4 between the 1 and the 9. That means the 1 could be here, or the 1 could be here. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go through different columns and rows and to see what I can figure out. Okay, 0, 20, 23, 18, 0, 13, 3. Okay, in this column, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 30. this is a 1. Finishes this column. That means, let's see, that this is a 9. And now I know this is a 1. And now I know this is a 9. And I know this is a 1. Okay. So in this row, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 7. That can be 1 or 2 digits. Well, it can't be 1 because I can't put the 9 right there. So it'll be 2, and that puts the 9 right there. And in this column, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 13. That can be done with 2 or 3 digits. So the 1 could be here. Actually, a 1 could not be here or here because I already have a 1 in this square. So the 1 is right here. And that also finishes this square. And in this row, the 1 and the 9 are right next to each other, so the 9 is right here. And that's an X. And in this column, the 1 and the 9 are next to each other, so the 1 is right here. These are X's. That is narrowed down. In this square, I know this is the 9. This square, I know this is the 1. And in this square, I know this is the 1. Okay. And this column, there's 1 digit between the 1 and the 9. So it'll be right there, and the 9 goes right here. Okay. In this row, the digits between the 1 and the 9 add up to 16, which can be done with 3 or 4 digits. There are already 4 digits in X, so the 1 has to be right here, which finishes this square. And let's see, where are we at? Oh, hold on. It doesn't finish the square, I'm sorry. It finishes this row and this column, because the last 9 has to go right here, because that's the last place on the board for a 1 or a 9. Okay, now I finished up that square. Let's go ahead and clear up the X's, and we'll start to find the other digits in this puzzle. outside of it will be the 2 and the 3. Since I already have a 7, the inside numbers will be 4, 5, 6, and 8. There can't be a 4 in this row because there's a 4 over here. So this will be 5, 6, and 8. 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay. And this column, there's a 3 between the 1 and the 9. And this column, it's a 2-digit number. And I can't narrow it down any further yet. In this column, it's a 4 between the 1 and the 9. In this column, I have 4 digits. This will be a 2 or a 4. That works with all of them. And 6, 7, 8. Okay. Can't narrow anything down further. Here I will have 5 digits that make 23 in between the 1 and the 9. So, yeah, I can't narrow anything down further. Actually, I can. Both of these have a 2 and a 3 in them. This shows a 2, 3, or 5 outside. It can't be the 2 or 3 because those will both be in here. So that's a 5. Now I know the answer with the 5 is not what's in here. So inside will be 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. And outside is 5 and 7. Okay. This column, I have 3 digits that make up 20. That is 5, 7, and 8. So I'm going to take the 6 out from here. Make this 5, 7, 8. And there's already a 7 in this row, so 5 or 8. And outside of this could be 2, 3, 4, and 6. So this could be 2, 3, 4, 6. And there's a 3 in here. So 2, 4, or 6. In this column, they were next to each other, but this is narrowed down to a 2, which makes this a 3. And that makes this a 4. And that makes this a 2. And that makes this a 6. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and let's see. This is 4 digits. There's a 2, so I can cross out that one. 9. I guess let's just start looking through them again. They're right next to each other. And I can't narrow these down still. Because it could still be a 2 and a 6, or a 3 and a 5. Can't narrow that down. Okay, in here, these 2 digits will be in this square, and there's a 4 in here, so it can't be the 3, 4. So this is the 2 and the 5, and that means this cannot be 5, and this cannot be 5, and this cannot be 2 or 5, so this is a 3. Okay. And then here, 6, 7, 8. Alright. 2, 4. Okay, in this row, the 4 digits add up to 16. There's a 6 outside of it, so I'll cross this one out. So the digits are 2, 3, 4, and 7. There's already a 2 in this square, so the 2 goes here. And 3, 4, 7 are in here. There's a 3 in this column, so this could be 4 or 7. So 4 so this could be 3 or 7. And this could be 3 or 4 or 7. Also, that means that this cannot be 4 or 7, and this cannot be 7. So these two digits will be 6 and 8. So I can take them out of here. These two will be 4 and 7, which means this cannot be 4. And, okay. Let's look at this square. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these two digits are a 7 and an 8. That means up here in this whole row, I have 1, 2, 3. I don't have 4, but there's a 4 up here. So this is a 4. And then I don't have 5 or 6. So these digits are 5 and 6. And then there's a 7, 8, 9. And up here in this square I have 1, a 2 in here, 3, a 4 in here, 5, 6, 7, and this has to be 8. That narrows this down to 6. In this section there are 2 digits with both a 7 and an 8, which means this cannot have that 8, so this is a 5. And using that same thing over here, there's a 4 or a 5 here and a 4 or a 5 here. So this has to be the 2. Okay. And in looking in this column, this is the only one that could be a 4 at this point, which means this is a 5. Okay, so in the square over here I have 1, 2, I don't have a 3, but there's a 3 in this row or column, a 3 in this column, so this has to be my 3. And then there's a 4, 5, and then I don't have 6, and then there's 7, and I don't have 8. So these two are 6 and 8, which means this can no longer be an 8. So this is a 7, and this is an 8, which makes this a 7. And over here I have 1. I don't have a 2, but there's a 2 in this row. So this is 2. And I don't have a 3, but that goes right there. And down here I have 1. We have 2 over here. 3, 4, a 5 in here. I don't have a 6. So this could be a 6 or this could be a 6. Then I have a 7 and then 8. This could be an 8 or this could be an 8. Okay. In this square, I only have this one that doesn't have anything. I have 1, 2, 3. A 4 is down here. 5 could not be from this. 6. There's a 6 in this row. But this could be 6. So 7 down here. And this could be 8. 9. Okay, let's see. And in here, I have 1, 2. These middle 3 are 3, 4, and 7. So 3 digits in 3 openings means they're all going to be used. 2 digits in 2 openings means they're going to be used. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have 5. That means this is narrowed down to 2. This is narrowed down to 5. Okay, in this column, I have one digit with a 6, 8 and another with a 6, 8. And so, in this column I have this again. So 2, 6, or 3, 5. If it was 2, 6, there'd be a 2 here and a 6 here. If it was 3, 5, the 3 would have to be here. The 5 would be here. Can't figure that out yet. Let me look at this column. This has a 2 and a 7. Okay, the other digits are either 3 and 6 or 4 and 5. I can't do 4 and 5. So this is a 3. This is a 6. This is narrowed down to 7. Narrowed down to 4. Narrowed down to 8. Narrowed down to 7. And narrowed down to 6. Narrowed down to 8. This is narrowed down to 8. Narrowed down to 7. Narrowed down to 5. Okay. So up here now, in this, let's see, 2, 6 would have to be 2 and then 6. I can't do that because there's both a 2 and a 6 in this column. So it's 3 and 5. This column has a 5, so this is a 3. This is a 5, and now I know this is 2. That makes this 3. This is a 4, which makes this a 2. And this is a 6, which makes this a 5. And in this row, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't have 7 or 8. In this square, I have 1. For 2, there's a 2 in this row and a 2 in this column, so this is a 2. Then I have 3. I have a 4 in this column, so this could be a 4 or this could be a 4. I have 5. I have a 6 in this column, so this is a 6. And there's a 7 and 8. There's an 8 in this row, so this is an 8. That makes this a 4. This top row has 1, 2, 3. I don't have a 4, so the 4 goes right here. That narrows us down to 7. That makes us a 4. This is narrowed down to 8. And this becomes 7. This is narrowed down to 6. This becomes 8. This is narrowed down to 6. This becomes 8. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So for 5, there's a 5 in this column. So this is 5.